Good afternoon. Welcome to our training session on how we use sensitivity analysis to integrate risk into proper capital budgeting decisions. My name is Christopher Harvey, and I will be presenting the steps we go through to utilize this invaluable tool. To get us started, we're going to go through the key fundamentals of financial management and capital budgeting. These crucial pieces of the company aren't just about short-term profits. Their goal is to maximize company value and, in turn, stakeholder wealth. Financial management is comprised of three major functions: working capital management, capital structure, and capital budgeting. Today, we're going to focus on capital budgeting. According to Kenton, capital budgeting is a process that businesses use to evaluate potential major projects or investments. The object of the capital budgeting process is to identify projects that add long-term value to the company. As with all decisions that have a long-term impact, there comes challenges with the uncertainty of the future, which highlights the need for detailed risk assessment. Next, we're going to cover sensitivity analysis. It's a powerful tool used to analyze how changing the key independent variables affect dependent variables under certain conditions. Sensitivity analysis has two main purposes. First, it identifies the project's most critical variables, and second, it aims to quantify how these variables impact the outcome when there's changes. The output of the analysis will show us the variations of possible outcomes, which allows us to perform risk management and mitigate vulnerabilities within the project. Within sensitivity analysis, there are quantitative and qualitative factors. Quantitative factors are straightforward and easy to identify values or variables. These key variables include sales volume, product pricing, fixed and variable costs, as well as the discount rate. We use these variables to set up our initial scenario to evaluate proposed projects. After we finish setting up the initial analysis, we can introduce control changes of one variable at a time and assess the various outcomes. Our findings then need to be transformed into visual presentations to give management an idea on the best decision to make. Qualitative factors are just as important as quantitative factors in capital budget decision making. It takes a bit of creativity and experience to identify the potential risks of any project. This brainstorming effort should, at a minimum, include shifts in the market, advancements in technology, competitor efforts, and regulation updates made by the various levels of government. After making the list of potential qualitative factors, we need to figure out the probability of them happening and the potential aftermath, whether it be positive or negative. We use the factors and probabilities to build various scenarios across the impact spectrum. It's essential that we create contingency plans for scenarios that produce a negative impact. There are other internal tools beyond sensitivity analysis that enable us to integrate risk into capital budgeting. One of the things we can do is use increased discount rates if the project is evaluated to be on the riskier end of the spectrum. This is called the risk-adjusted discount rate. When there's increased risk, it means there is a higher minimum investment return required, and we use the higher discount rate to compensate. Additionally, we can approach the project from another avenue by converting the risky projects with the certainty equivalent approach using the risk-free rate. The certainty equivalent is a guaranteed return that someone would accept now rather than taking a chance on a higher but uncertain return in the future. The final internal tool is simulation analysis, which is used for the more complex projects. This method is also called the Monte Carlo simulation, and probability distributions are assigned to key variables. Thousands of these simulations are run to understand the project's risk by generating a probability distribution graph of possible NPVs or IRRs. We also have several external tools we can use to integrate risk into decision making. Similarly to the qualitative factors we've discussed is scenario analysis. Several distinct realistic scenarios are developed, and the aim is to understand a project's performance by calculating the outcome under each. Another tool that can be used is decision trees. They are used when making sequential decisions is involved over the duration of the project. Aside from the decisions, the tree features the possible outcomes of each decision and their probabilities. At the end of each line of decisions, the expected value is calculated to assess against the risk. The last tool is real options analysis. It's one of the more advanced tools as it accounts for the flexibility of management to adapt strategy in response to what's happening with the project. Finally, we acknowledge the benefits of integrating risk into capital budgeting. The most illicit benefit is an improved decision-making process. We can make better informed choices for the allocation of capital by understanding the factors that impact the potential outcomes. This leads directly to an improved prioritization of projects within our risk guidelines. Additionally, it also fosters a company culture of proactive risk management that allows us to better handle situations that might come up. By using all the tools at our disposal, we contribute to stability and growth of the company, and most importantly, generate greater stakeholder wealth.